again, and welcome to a presentation on commentary and analysis in writing. Commentary and analysis is where you explain the concrete detail or the piece of textual evidence you picked. Why this quote? Why is that quote the one that's important, and what does it show? Second piece is where you explain how does this tie to the real world? How does this fit in to and matter to your reader? And finally, you need to tie the quote back to the point you're trying to prove. What is it that was in your topic sentence that caused you to pick that piece of concrete detail or textual evidence? For example, here's a concrete detail. Back to our topic sentence dealing with Mark McGwire being admitted into the Hall of Fame. For example, when Tony La Russa was asked in an interview with the St. Louis Post-Dispatch if he felt Mark McGwire was worthy of induction into the Hall of Fame, La Russa replied, "I think he is. I definitely think he is." This was by author Hummel in his article. The commentary or analysis, as you can see on the screen, starts with, Tony La Russa was inducted this year into the Hall of Fame and wouldn't want anyone with questionable integrity to join him. Notice here this ties to the real world. It tells us about why it's important in the greater context. Since La Russa was so positive and said that McGwire should definitely be a part of the Hall of Fame, notice that part ties back to the concrete detail. The reader can see that there was not even a shade of doubt on La Russa's part as to the worthiness of McGwire for the Hall of Fame. Notice we've tied it back to the topic sentence and bringing in the idea that Mark McGwire should be inducted into the Hall of Fame without restating that word for word. And note at the bottom, this is not correct paragraph form. So while I'm doing this to show you what commentary and analysis looks like, it is not the format that you would actually write this in a paper. And finally, commentary and analysis tends to be the harder part of writing. And it is probably an area that you have not focused on in middle school, because now the focus is in high school. And this is what we're working on this year to try to make more sophisticated in your writing and to bring you up that level. It is often, however, make or break. We're really going to focus on grading that piece, and that analysis does weigh heavier in your grade this year than it might have before. With this, I hope you now understand what commentary and analysis is. Thank you.